Hi again, YouTubers. So this is a review that was requested by quite a few of you on a line of brushes from Sigma called their Performance line. And they're tiny, tiny, tiny little brushes. Like, they are made to obviously be very precise. But to me, they're more made to get into those small little areas that you normally just have to work with a brush on or find a way to do it, like that just normal brushes can't do these things. They are also an amazing, amazing thing for very small eyes. Plus, for me, the biggest thing they are great for me on is outer V work, because to me, my eye is like, here, let me find one. 217 is like my typical go-to, or the Sigma E45. I don't even think I have a 217 anymore, but this is kind of my go-to brush for putting color in the outer corner and blending it out, because like something like this, Sigma E40 or MAC 224, is just way too big for my eyes. It just doesn't work. I've used the Sigma E45 brush as well. Here, I'll show you a couple of these. The E45, and I think it was the 226 was by MAC, like that. And it's a nice brush, but for some reason, I just don't grab for it. This is the one I grab for the most. I personally am not a fan of pencil brushes like this. What is this? The pencil E30. I just find it's too dense, and it just like the product just ends up sitting in one spot. I use them every once in a while, but I'm not like, it's not something I grab for to do an outer V. And I think a lot of these brushes work for that. The key one that I use the most, and I used it today, so it's a little dirty, is the blending one, which is E36. This thing is awesome. And what I did with it is all I did was I put the color right here in the outer V, just with this brush. And it's perfect. It's just so nice and so tiny. And I think this is the funnest set that they've come out with. So I'm really excited about that. There are a few other brushes that I do the same type of thing with. This one is the Shader Crease Brush, the E47. This one is a little bit flatter. You can see as I turn it. It's a little bit more flat and through this way than this one, which is a little bit more fanned out. This one's definitely pinched at the ferrule and goes up and tapers a little bit more. But I found that's really good just to, again, if you want to place it in that area. These are just really a great concept. And I never really thought that I had small eyes, but I find that these are working with my eyes. The next one is the Shader Lid E56. Now this one's a little bit bigger of a brush, and it's flat, and it is pinched again at the ferrule. And what this one is really good for is just placing that color. I used it today just to place a little bit of like highlight and color like in the inner tear duct and then up onto the lid without like feeling the need for like a brush like this, which is the, oops, E55. Like, I don't feel as if I need that as much. This is just perfect. The E55 is great if you want to do an all over lid and blend up into the top, into the crease, but this is great for just placing this where you want it. It's just a really fun brush. The next one is the shader for the inner corner, which is the E46. It's pretty much just a smaller version of the one I just showed you. It's more specifically made to put the color on your inner corner. Now, I feel as if I have this, I don't really need this. But again, I guess it would depend on the size of your eye and plus how precise you really want to be. I'm not very precise with the inner corner highlight, but this is just great for getting in there. It's definitely another added feature to the set and something nice to have. The next one is the Tightline Liner E16. Now, I really liked this brush because I am a big tight liner fan. I really like tight liners. I tend to, what I used to use, and I know I'm referencing other brushes, but I want to mention to you what brushes I was using and now what I'm using these for. So if the brush that I was using or you had been using previously isn't working for you, you'll know what this option is. This is the Flat Definer in E15. And this is the Performance one. This is that Tight Liner E16. Now this Tight Liner one reminds me a little bit more of the Laura Mercier one that they came out with. But I like this a lot because it just has a little bit more play and more flexibility that you can really get up into that lash line and dig down and get it right in there perfectly. It definitely has more give to it than the other one, but as the product builds up, it stays at the top and really gets into the areas you want it to. If that one, my only problem with the Laura Mercier one is, like I said, was that the too much give up here. If you're uncomfortable with that, I like it personally. I feel like it really gives me a chance to kind of get it in there against my lash line. But if you're uncomfortable with that, there is another option in the set, which is the Waterline for the, and it's the E17. Here, I should put it next to it so you can see the difference. You can see the difference in the bristles and how big they are, okay? This one is really great. I think this one is a really nice tight line / waterline one. You can just, again, it's so tiny and perfect. Now, these brushes are gonna take you possibly a little bit longer because they're not as big, they're not covering as much basis, but I think they're phenomenal. I just think they're great brushes. This one is the Smudge E21. I think this is a great brush. I had a brush that for years I've always used, which is an old Lou Cornell. This is a painting brush that I used forever and a day. And what I used this for was I put shadow on and I used it underneath my eyes. And ever since I got this, I've been using this all the time for that. And it's just, it's very dense, but very tight, easy to just move in there and you can really, really smudge it. This is more for somebody who is looking for a more precise line. They're not looking for that smudged out line as much as just a direct line of knowing exactly where you wanted that shadow under your eyes, okay? And you could use it on the top line too, actually. If you wanted to smudge shadow into your lash line, that's a great one for that. Then the last one is the eyeliner brush, and it's the E11. This is the tiniest, tiniest brush. Look how tiny that is. This one is, again, for someone who really, really wants a super, super, super thin line of eyeliner, which honestly I've been doing a lot because of the lash extensions. I have not been doing as heavy of a line and liner. I used the, what is this one today? The tight line liner one. I used that today and I just did my tight line, but I haven't been wearing as much eyeliner on the top lid. I haven't felt the need for it. But I think that this is definitely kind of the option instead of, where is it? The one I used, I'm going to show you two. The one I use the most. The one I use the most is the E05, I think it's called, right? Yeah, E05 that everybody talks about. Because it has, this brush is kind of a combination between two brushes that were already made, which is the E05 brush, which is this one here. And everyone likes it for the eyeliner because it's just so easy with gel or like powder liners, like a Laura Mercier pan liner type of thing. This is just great because it's just one foul swoop, does a little wing, and it's perfect. The other brush that Sigma has is the small eyeliner E10. But the only problem with this one is it's kind of long and it kind of has more play and it kind of moves more. Sorry, it still has stuff on it. I find that one more difficult to work with. So this one is a great combination of the two because it's shaped like the E05 and it's thin like the E10. However, it just has that same purpose that the E05 does, which is just one foul swoop and a very, very, very small winged liner at the side. And it's great. So these brushes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brushes. I think they are $55. I will put the links below and on my blog. But I will show you these again. And they are just, if you have small eyes, these are a must-have. If you don't have small eyes and just really like expanding your collection and having different options and different types of brushes than what you're used to seeing on a daily basis, from most companies, this is definitely thinking outside of the box and definitely giving you some more options. So definitely a possibility if you're a brush lover. Definitely something fun, and all of these are useful on a daily basis for one reason or another. So I hope you found this review helpful. Let me know if you have any questions on any of these brushes you saw here. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.